Hi, this is me from the future. Just going to start this video off by saying the views, everything I say in this video is based on my initial impressions of the gun. But watch part 2 because there was actually a problem with this gun. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Part 1, initial impressions, the way I felt about it, picking it up. Part 2, actually firing, and there was a problem. So please watch part 2 and take what I say in part 1 as being my initial impressions before shooting it. Okay, many thanks. Right, I happened to be down at TAL Shooting Scuba in Christchurch, Dorset, and I mentioned to them that I was looking for a 1911 CO2 Blowback pistol, but how disappointed I was really that the majority of them have got all this awful white writing at the side of them, like manufacturer name and rail and RAC and things like that, and just, well, they look crap basically. So what they suggested was that I have a look at this Krown Land, krownland.com, Taiwan. Now they're all made in Taiwan. I think they're all made in the same factory, but some of them, let's unbox here as well, instructions, there we go. Some of them don't have awful white writing all over them. Some of them just have a little bit here to denote that they're 4.5mm 177 BB and a little serial number. No Remington or Swiss Arms or We the People at the side of it. Yeah, I mean, that's just nice really, isn't it? Looks spot on. It was a bit pricey, I have to say. It was a bit pricier than all the emblazoned alternatives, and okay, basically yeah, it's the same gun, but I didn't mind paying that bit extra for it because, I mean, look at it, it's really, really good. Now what I do like about this gun as well, the feel of it. By the way, I know it's empty, so I can pull the trigger with impunity. I don't know, anyone who has handled real firearms will know that a lot of your CO2 replicas, a lot of replicas like this Denex that featured in a video a little while back, they don't feel the same. And the way I would describe it is a replica or a cheap CO2 gun feels wet. That's the only way I can really describe it. That the Mazak and the sort of low-grade material they're made out of just doesn't have the same feel to it. And it feels plasticky even though it's metal, and you've got a lot of, because it's cast, a lot of the detail is lost. It's overly rounded and you can see casting imperfections. I'm fairly certain, by the way, long-term review spoil here, that this Denex may even be starting to develop a crack at the end of the muzzle there, presumably from the force of it hitting, and this Mazak material, I keep calling it Mazak, I'm fairly certain it's Mazak. It's just not really made for repeated use, so maybe I've overused it, who knows. They just don't have that real firearm feel. Your uninitiated would think, yeah, fine, perfect, looks apart, feels apart, yeah, it's right. It's not, it doesn't feel right. And I think you've got to have, as I say, have handled and have been around real firearms, real handguns, that sort of thing, to know what I mean by this. The moment you pick this up, you realise, you know, that it's quality. It feels right. It sounds right. It even has a functional grip safety. I mean, that's just great, that is. So push it in. The trigger actually works. I mean, come on. There you go. That's something that the Denex is lacking, even though it's advertised as having it. So, what's the system on this? It's the good old CO2 capsule in the magazine, and then load up BBs into the actual magazine itself. Now there is no little clip to put the plunger across into, so you have got to hold it back with your fingernails while you drop the CO2 in. Sorry, CO2, while you drop the BBs in. Apologies for my mistake there, everyone can laugh at me and call me stupid. Okay, minor gripe there. Now I am told that the magazines out of other brands may fit. Haven't tried it myself. and I don't know, I can't comment on that. While we're on the subject of the magazine, one minor gripe I've got is this little portion here. It's a bit overly thick compared to a real magazine. You can see there, that's just a single skin of steel, whereas this is actually a bit bulkier. Now it's got to be really, because that's where the thread is for your CO2 compression to then pierce the top of the CO2 canister. So yeah, that's something that you've got to live with really. It's a shame, it does spoil the look a bit, as you can see there, compared to the Den-X does win out slightly because you can just see that little lip around the bottom, which is more realistic. But in every other respect, and the fact that this is actually a functional gun, I think this wins out. Yeah, really good. Slide lock, yep, functional, and you can actually take the slide off for cleaning using the same method as you would with a real 1911, using the takedown. So yeah, impressed. It all looks in there nice and clean, good quality. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. As I say, it was a bit more expensive, but Mrs. Vending was with me and she did approve the purchase. So there. Trigger, by the way, feels good. That is a nice feeling trigger. A lot of these CO2 guns, the triggers on them feel absolutely dreadful, but that is nice. Yeah, it's clearly defined let-off point. Feels good. We will find out what it's like to actually shoot. Magazine release. It's nice and positive. There is a bit of resistance just at the end of pushing the magazine in, where it clears the mag catch. I haven't got a problem with that. One thing I have got a problem with, these grips. They're plastic, and okay, you know, they were plastic in certain eras of manufacture. Because I like things to look like World War I, World War II, I'd have preferred wood or wood effect, and these are just brown plastic, and they look okay in the video. From a distance they look okay, but they don't feel nice, and in real life they don't look that nice. But of course you can buy wood to replace it with. Before you go running out and buy wood and go, yay, that'd be fantastic. Yes, the hole spacing is correct. And spoiler alert, Den-X hole spacing is too short, so proper wood won't fit. There is an issue with these. Actually, there's two issues. One is the shape up at the top. I don't know whether it's these repro grips or whether it's the shape of this actual gun. You can see I'm going to have to remove some material so that the slide release will actually function. I believe that the plunger here will actually sit in the corresponding groove on this, so I think it's just that corner needs nipping out. A little bit of a shame. I can't really understand why that is, but it's just one of those things, I guess. I guess I could always just use the other one actually and just grind off the top there. That'll probably work. The other thing is that on CO2 guns, because you've got the canister in there, you've actually got a little bulge in the body underneath of these grips. So these are flat underneath, as they would be on the real gun. So you've got to actually cut that bulge out of these. I'm going to cover how I do it in a future video, so I hope people are actually interested in that. But yeah, it's not straightforward, it's not straight on. Also, another sort of area of realism, which I'd rather wasn't actually that real. These screws on a real 1911 are a ridiculously small size and a very fine pitch, and on this one, yeah, you guessed it, same thing. Very thin, very fine pitch. Righty-tighty very soon becomes lefty-loosey, so you've got to exercise a lot of care when you take these screws off, because they love to strip their threads, and we'll probably need a bit of thread lock on it afterwards. It's a pain. Yeah, it's annoying. I think I'll probably end up drilling them out and putting M3 in as opposed to 2.5. That's what I'm saying. So, in terms of unboxing, we sort of bounced through and didn't do the proper unboxing sequence. Instructions, they're not bad. Problem is they cover the airsoft and the BB. Oh, that's what I was saying about removing the slide. So it's a bit difficult on occasion to sort of be thinking, well, which one are we talking about, like green gas and that sort of thing. Yeah, schematic gas stroke CO2, so it does sort of cover both. You just got to sort of work out which one's yours and then act accordingly. Obviously this is the green gas magazine here, because it actually looks real, whereas this is a CO2 magazine. I'm assuming the rest of the functionality is the same. There are a few little excuse me, errors here and there. It's quite amusing, but you know, considering what it is, they're pretty good instructions. There's the hex key for tightening up the oh, bugger, there we go. Tightening up the magazine to pierce the CO2 canister. And there's this speed loader as well. At first I got excited and thought it was a spare magazine, then I realised, it's a speed loader. There's no instructions anywhere for how to use this, so I'm going to have to go away, work that out. That will feature in the video where I do the grips. At the moment, all we're focusing on is just the first impressions of the gun. I'm not going to shoot it because unfortunately I haven't got time. I'm running the quiz over at our local community club, so yeah, I haven't got time unfortunately to load up with CO2 and fire this thing off and see how she performs. Just, yeah, it's a bit of a shame really. It's just one of them things. It's what happens when you get old and you start going on committees. All I'll say is, everyone watching, don't go on committees. Alright, just don't do it. They will suck up every single available minute of your life and you won't get any gratitude for it. Right. First impressions then. Really like it. I do like it, yeah. Am I fully in love with it? Well, no, not yet. Let's wait until part 2 when we actually test it. One thing I did just want to test actually. Oh, the safety catch works as well. Excellent. Oh, that's really good, that is. Yeah, that is good. So it's a bone of contention I've had with other 1911 replicas. Yeah, reserving judgment until part 2, but certainly first impressions. Yeah, I really like it. In terms of TAL Shooting and Scuba, if you are in Christchurch and you're looking for a gun shop, or in that area, or to be honest with you, anywhere in the UK, give them a go, because they are really, really good people. It's an excellent shop, and I, yeah, came away from that experience feeling really positive, really happy, really, really good, really nice people. Yeah, great. Add the little proviso, not sponsored. But if you want to look me up, then by all means, you know, send money, guns, food my way, all gratefully received. Right, I'm going to wrap that up temporarily to wait until part 2 for the test. Part 2 or part 3 will be fitting these wooden grips, but until that point I think you can tell that, yeah, I quite like it.